Okay, we're here in the back of our facility at PuroClean Rapid Response, and we're standing in our contents processing department. And what we're doing today, a lot of people have some question as to how sonic equipment works, and can you really put a monitor or television in a dip tank? There are other ways to do it, and for some equipment that is preferred. However, for something like this, we're not actually cleaning this. There's nothing really wrong with this. As you can see, the monitor is working. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it through our process. Then we're going to dry it out. And then we're going to fire it back up and show everybody just how safe this technology is. Derek, could you go ahead and take that over to the sink and start doing a rinse, please? I'm going to go ahead and start off by just doing a quick rinse, and this is what we would do if there were heavy contaminants from soot, what have you, all over this. This monitor was actually in a fire. The customer didn't need it anymore and just asked us to get rid of it, but it was a very light fire at the time. And Derek's just doing a quick rinse, and I know most of you watching this are saying, I can't believe this guy is pouring water all over a monitor. And the next step, Derek's going to go ahead and put this in our pre-wash tank. And what this would do with heavy contamination is it would take off the bulk. And normally we would open up the case on this and so forth. So Derek's having a bit of a hard time getting it to sink because it has to fill up with water. But he'll go ahead and do that, and then once it sits, I'm going to turn this off for a second while this sits, because we're going to let this sit for 5-10 minutes, let it get really, really wet, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we're going to go to the pre-wash tank, and as you can see, it's completely submerged. Because we're not doing a real restoration on this, we didn't open the case, therefore there's some air in there, so we put a sandbag on top of it just to weight it down to hold it under. Now at this point I'm going to have Derek pull it out, and we're going to put it over here in the ultrasonic tank. Now normally with the ultrasonic tank you'd see a lot of motion going on inside of the water. The reason you don't at the moment is when I turn this on, you more than likely will not be able to hear the audio version of this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on for a second so you can see the disturbance and so forth in the water, exactly what it does. Okay, now I turned it back off so you can hear us, and I'm going to have Derek pull the monitor out of the tank that it's in and put it directly into this tank, and then we may as well have to weight it down again. We'll then turn it on. Normally it's never turned off. And he's just sinking that right on in there. And we'll go ahead and weight it down with a sandbag. I'm going to go ahead and turn the ultrasonic machine back on at this point. When I do, of course, we'll lose the audio. What I want you to know is when I turn this back on, if you hear a high-pitched squeal, like that of a microphone feeding back, if you've ever been to a wedding and the MC's talking, and you hear that high-pitched squeal, the reason this will be is because there's still air inside of this monitor case, and the sound waves that clean will actually utilize that as though it's a speaker and give you a loud amount of feedback. So if you hear that, that's why you hear it. I'm going to turn it on now, and then after I turn it on, I'm going to let it run for a while, and then we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. Pop the lid open. The monitor, I assure you, is as clean as it could possibly get. I'm going to have Derek now pull it out of there. We're going to slide it around to our deionized rinse department. What he's going to do first is he's going to hit it with the regular water, which is a spigot on the left. And then after, that's just to quickly wipe off any detergents or what have you. With the minerals, they kind of help a bit. And then we're going to go directly to the next spigot, which is the deionized water. Helps reduce spots, so forth. Helps with electrical components, so forth. After he's done with this, we'll then move on to the drying station. And again, keep in mind, this is a quick rinse, as this piece, the only thing that gets done with this piece is we prove that we can wet it over and over again and dry it properly, and it'll still work. Real piece and a real restoration, we would of course pop the case open. We would hit it with some air real fast, blow off any bulk water. But for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to go ahead and throw it in a drying chamber and let it dry. Yeah, dude. Derek's turning on our dryer. And he is setting it now. 180 degrees. Push it through. And if this were a large production, you know, let's say we were doing an entire house of small content, it would go in the racks. It would go into the dryer for X amount of time. There's actually a different dryer that we would normally use for a monitor that's more sealed and so forth. Dries it faster. For the purposes of this demo, that's not necessary. It pops out on our conveyor there when it's done, and then it would be repacked. After being repacked, it would be stored in its appropriate vault and wait for the safe return to the home. We'll come back after this monitor has dried, and upon this monitor being dry and working, we'll plug it in and show you, and that'll be it. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it's informative. Thank you. Okay, we're back, and it's time for the moment of truth. We're going to have Derek go ahead and pull it out of the drying chamber. Okay. And you know what? Just go ahead and plug it in. See how it works. See a light? And there we go. Now again, that was a computer monitor. This is not how we would normally clean this. Some things do get cleaned like this, electronics wise. This particular time we just wanted to show that we can take this, we can clean it that way if we want to. We can turn it back on just an hour and a half later, and it works. Everything's perfectly fine. Thanks for your time.